Welcome back, guys and gals. Today in this video I'm actually going to be expanding upon a theory I made in a previous video. Now I think the other one had substantial evidence to say that it's likely that it was the truth. However, this video is going to be based on quite a few assumptions, so I'm not going to brand this as really the truth, but more of a fan theory. I hope you enjoy it nonetheless. Let's get right into it. So to start off, we must go back to that original video. You should watch that right now if you haven't already. The general premise of that video was that in Wallace and Gromit, the British Empire had not collapsed. Now, we can go on to assume that the only different variable between our world and the Wallace and Gromit world is, of course, Wallace and Gromit. So from that, we can extrapolate that Wallace led the British Empire to not collapse, perhaps even expanding it to greater heights than it ever got in our current timeline. Now, we know Wallace has a great affinity for invention, so for those who are wondering how Wallace could do this, I believe that is it. We have, for example, seen how exceptional his use of rocketry is, and that could have come in, of course, great help to the Empire. For example, gathering surveillance or using them as weapons. Now, of course, the British would have loved this. However, I believe that not everyone would be too happy with this. Most prominently, the opposition to the British, such as the French, and I believe that some of these countries, most probably the French, but not necessarily, would have sent many bounty hunters and secret missions against Wallace to try and stifle his exceptional aid. Of course, by trying to end his life. However, of course, we know Wallace was far too crafty for this. So I think that he would have likely gone into a period of exile. A period of exile to escape all the killers. Now, where would Wallace have gone, you may ask? Now, I think an obvious answer would be to the moon. However, although there is cheese on the moon, there isn't much else. I don't think Wallace would have particularly found this the easiest of life. There might not even be water there, in fact, so it might not have even been possible for Wallace to have travelled to the moon and exiled there. No, I think he likely went to the furthest part and wildest part of the British Empire, deep into the British Raj. Now, of course, when Wallace got here, it would have been a little too out in the open for him to have just lived in the cities. Oh no, he must venture deep into the jungles of the Raj, which, of course, is modern-day India, Pakistan and Bangladesh. And I've actually created a rather realistic render of what this would have looked like, Wallace first entering the jungles of the Raj. Now, of course, there is something slightly awry with this, and that is that Wallace does not have the moustache that he should have to truly blend in with the Indian population. So, of course, here is an image of likely what he would have done to blend in with the local population. Another question you might ask is how Wallace survived, because, of course, his favourite food, cheese, he wouldn't have been able to easily access in the middle of a jungle. So I think he must have made the cheese himself from the milk of perhaps wild or even endangered animals that he finds in the jungle, perhaps even including animals such as tigers. So maybe Wallace's journey was not so bad after all, as he could have actually got a real unique insight into some really rare and previously non-existing cheeses. Anyway, I think you should really entertain the idea that this could have happened, even if we don't have the proper proof that it did happen, because there is no flaws really in the theory. There just isn't enough evidence to back it up. Now, thank you for watching. Goodbye.